Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tish here, and I can't believe it, but I am finally back after my maternity leave. So I'm going to give you guys my last month of pregnancy update. So that's weeks 36 to 40, and of course at the end, if she wakes up, I am going to introduce you to baby girl, who is already 8.5 weeks old. Like, I cannot believe this time has flown by so fast. But before I ramble too much, let's go ahead and jump into that first week of the last month of my pregnancy. So week 36, I weighed in at 155.6 pounds. I had a doctor's appointment that week, and at my doctor's appointment I weighed 159.4. So it was always a difference between my scale and the doctor's scale. So when I went home that same day, I weighed myself again and I was 156. 3 pounds lighter at home than I was at the doctor. So that was the difference between our scales. I took my first birth class that week, and everything was virtual. I don't know if it still is, but everything at that time was virtual. So it was just interesting to have this class online. That week I had extreme back pain, like so bad, where there were nights where I just wanted to cry because I couldn't get comfortable while I was trying to sleep. I started to wear my belly belt again, and that really helped with the pain, just relieving that pressure. I packed my hospital bag that week. I hope you've already seen that video because it's been up. And I also put the bassinet together that week, which was also in a video. So hopefully you've already seen that video of me getting everything done before the baby arrived. So that week, it was the Sunday of that week, where I don't know if I was just getting overheated or just stressed out or both, whatever, but I felt faint and blacked out 3 times all in one morning, like all in one day. So I was also seeing stars that week, so that kind of scared me. So that week I had stopped taking my baby aspirin, so I was like really stressing out. I had so much to do. It was like crunch time for getting ready for the baby. I'm counting down for work. So much drama was going on at work. One of my students was literally like harassing the whole class, including me, being very physical, so I was worried about that. It was like crunch time for grad school because it was my last semester of grad school. So I just had a lot going on that week. I had to turn in my proposal for my capstone, which is like is equivalent to a thesis. I had people trying to pull me in different directions. It was just a really rough week for me. So seeing the stars part, like, that kind of scared me because I was just like really hoping and praying that my blood pressure didn't go up or even go down too low, because I had stopped taking a baby aspirin. So don't know if that has something to do with me getting faint and blacking out again, or if that has something to do with me seeing stars, but that was definitely a big change and a major concern. And then at my doctor's appointment, my doctor, I did ask her to check, and at that point I was only a fingertip dilated, which goes into our next week. So week 37. At this point, I'm going to my doctor's every week. There was no change in my dilation. I was still only a fingertip. I was 158 pounds that week at home, 159 at my doctor's appointment. So I lost 0.4 pounds at my doctor's appointment, but at home I gained 2.4 pounds. I was getting really bad insomnia that week. Like, I could not sleep. It was just, like I said, the week before, everything was just stressing me out, and I was trying to stay calm, but all that stuff is still in your mind. Plus you're just pregnant and you have these hormones anyway. So I just could not sleep. Like, I would wake up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, not be able to go back to sleep. Like, it was, the struggle was real, and I was still working. But that was my last week of work. So that Wednesday was my last day at work. I ended up going out early. My plan was to stay until the Wednesday before my due date. I'm so blessed I did. Like I mentioned the previous week, one of my students was just showing herself, and it was just so stressful on top of all the other stress that I was dealing with, that I was just like, I can't do this. So that was my last week of work. The baby was moving as if she had all the room in the world that week. like a lot of positional changes. It felt like she was literally trying to detach my stomach from my body. I even have like a clip of me filming myself because I was like, what is she in there doing? Like straight up, it felt like my stomach was being ripped off, which is just not comfortable when you're in your last few weeks of pregnancy and there's like no room for the baby, and yet she's in there moving around like she is a little tiny pea or something. And then that week ended with me having pain and pressure in my pelvic area. All right, so now let's go ahead and see week 38. So that week I started out at 156 pounds. Yes, if you're keeping up with my weight, I lost weight. So my home weight, I lost 2 pounds that week. For the baby, the eye color is determined at that point, and I will say, like I said, she's 8.5 weeks and we still don't know what color her eyes are. So like the hair color was determined, and that hair color could stay for a year and then change. I know people whose hair color changed. My hair color changed. It was super light brown and now it's almost black. But I've seen people who have brown hair who went lighter. So the hair color is determined for birth at that time, but we all know that it can change, just like the eye color is determined for birth, but their eye color can change. All the organs were fully functional on baby girl at that time. For me, I couldn't lay down. Like, it was so uncomfortable laying down. Like, it finally hit me. People kept asking me and I was like, I have no problem if I could still lay on my back. That week, just laying down period was very uncomfortable. I did do yoga that week, prenatal yoga that week, and it didn't really help. Kind of got worse. So that week I had my non-stress test, and at the doctor's appointment I was 156 pounds as well. So for a doctor's appointment weight, that was 3 pounds lighter than I was the week before. So at this point I'm kind of worried because I'm like, why am I losing weight? And the doctor was not concerned because the baby was fine. We did an ultrasound, so they checked to make sure that I had enough fluid still. Well, the doctor asked me if I wanted to do a membrane sweep, and I was like, nah. That just would have helped for the contractions to start and labor to start, and at that point I'm like, we 2 weeks early. No ma'am. And my mom wasn't there yet. No ma'am, we're not doing that. So of course, since I wasn't working, I thought I was going to get all this stuff done. I thought I was going to be able to nest and do all this stuff at home, and I slept most of the day all that week. That continued until I went into deliver the baby. That Thursday, so pretty much the last day of that week, I felt Braxton Hicks. It lasted for only 5 minutes. And it was like several, how can I say it? I don't even know how to say it, but it was like I would have them and they would stop, and I would have them, they would stop for about 5 minutes. And that was the first and last time I had ever experienced Braxton Hicks. So week 39, so last full week of pregnancy. It's 155.2 pounds, so continuing to lose weight. My mom did come that Friday, so the first day of my 39th week she came, and we finally started to get things done. So the nursery started to get done. She's starting to wake up. The nursery got done and washed her clothes, did all that stuff. So I got some stuff done when my mom came. I'm like keeping my eye on her. So my week started on Friday, so Monday I got nauseous and threw up. So I knew it was baby time at that point, because I had not been nauseous in months. I had not thrown up in months. Yeah, so I went in on Wednesday the 23rd for my last doctor's appointment at the NST. My mom was there, so she got to hear her heartbeat. And unfortunately, still no change in dilation. That Thursday, I went in for my induction. They called me earlier that day. So originally it was set for 7:30, and that's what I was planning for. She still wasn't showing signs of wanting to come. Still no Braxton Hicks, no labor, nothing. So they called me that Wednesday night just to say what to do on Thursday. Thursday morning, they called me asking me if I wanted to come in. I was so scared, like I almost cried. And I don't know why. but I almost cried, and I was just like, no, my husband is not here. Like, and granted, if she wanted to come, we would have had to go whether he was home or not, but I was like giving him all excuses as to why we couldn't go that early. So I said that. She was like, why don't you just call me when he comes home? So I didn't even get to call when he came home. They called me and they were like, we still have your room available. So we went in for 5 o'clock. We didn't get there until like 5:30 though. We went in for 5 o'clock to be induced. For me, they placed the balloon, and I don't know the technical term, I'm not even gonna look it up, but they placed a balloon in me to get me dilated more because I was still, the fingertip were not dilated anyway, and that was just to help me dilate and to start the contractions. She was just like, can you shut up, I'm trying to sleep. And I promise, as soon as they put that balloon in me, the pain started immediately. Like, oh my gosh. And I was having contractions at that point every 5 to 7 minutes, but they would only last 30 seconds, and that was pretty much the whole night. So at some point that morning, I was in so much pain when the nurses came in and was like, do you want something? And I was like, yes. And they gave me something. I think it was morphine. I have no clue what it was. No clue. I kept asking, and they just thought that I was high off of the drugs, and they didn't understand what I was asking for. But I kept saying, what did she give me? And they're like, yeah, she gave you something. I'm like, no, what did she give me? Because I was so loopy. Like, everything was heavy. But it helped. So that next morning, the doctor came in to check, and I was only 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. So normally you put the balloon in and you get to at least 4. Once you're at 4, then you can pretty much be considered to be in labor. I was still only 2 to 3, and at this point, it's now Friday, it's her due date. I'm 40 weeks pregnant, and I'm still not dilating. So then they started to give me the Pitocin, which helped again with the contractions. They came to check me that night, and I was still 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. So that's all I'm going to share about that, because I do want you to come back and see my labor and delivery video, which should be the next video, since it's already filmed. But since she is waking up, I'm going to go ahead and grab her so I can introduce you to my precious miracle baby. On her due date, March 25th, my baby finally showed up at 8:01 p.m. and she is here, healthy and happy. And this is Miss Caileigh Marie, and I am just so in love. Like, look at her. Like, she came out smiling, she came out giving everybody like eye contact, like she could see us clear as day. She came passing gas. She came out looking around, like moving her head, like she was just such a blessing. So yeah, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button, click on that bell, give this video a thumbs up, and check back in for our labor and delivery story. I don't know what my schedule is going to be with her, because she normally, I'm shocked she slept in her crib for that time that I could film this video. She normally will only sleep if we're holding her, like spoiled to the T. So I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. That's why this video is 2 months late, because 1, the way she was delivered, and 2, she's always attached to me. But yeah, so this is Miss Caileigh Marie, and this is my last update for her time inside of my belly. And now she's here, and I love her so much. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Say bye, Caileigh. Bye.